everyone. Welcome to the podcast of and for the people, the greatest football podcast on earth, Real Francamente. My name is Franca. I'm your host, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Are you ready to buy us your football content? Let's go. Hello. Welcome to a new episode. I have to start by profusely apologizing. I don't even know who noticed, but we are a week behind. A new episode was supposed to drop last week, but it did not because life happened. Lots of things are going on. We are in a transition period in our lives. I'm using the royal we. Things are very, very crazy. I did a TED Talk. Like, what? I did a whole TED Talk. So last week, all I was thinking about was figuring out how to memorize it. If you watched it, no comment. No comment. We'll see. I don't know. It is what it is. It's done. It's a TED Talk. Like, it's done. But all of that to say that I was busy memorizing that. I've been busy with school. I've been doing so much stuff. This is the first time since Real Francamente exists that we have not come out on time. So we are 1 week behind, but we'll get right back to schedule. Apologies. I love y'all so much. There's some cool stuff in the works, though, on the merch front. So stay tuned for that. The Real Francamente merch front. And yeah, we're all just doing what we can to survive. The vibes are in shambles still, but we're doing it. We're doing it. A little bit of news, officially sad-ish news. This is our last episode with this beautiful background, which I actually love. And honestly, it's like just beautiful by virtue of the space being beautiful. Like all my pillows are a mess back there if you're watching on YouTube. My pillows on the couch. But like, look at that. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. I mean, the elements may show back up at some point. But that beautiful brick wall and just like the vibe of this whole room, I love it so much. So stay tuned to see what we do. We'll probably have a makeshift situation for a little bit until we get settled into what our new set will look like. So if you've been watching on YouTube, this is goodbye to the set. And if you're watching on YouTube, what am I wearing? I am wearing Bielsa. Y'all, no Bielsa, no party, no Bielsa, no party. We have said it for years in this space, right? For years in the Real Francamente space, since the podcast exists, definitely, but Real Francamente existed before the podcast did, right? What am I wearing? I'm wearing an alternate Uruguay kit from 2014 or 18. It was one of those two World Cups. It is interesting because this jersey, I have never worn it. I got it as a gift and it's a size small. And Puma at that point, I think it was the year that Puma like started like running real small and like everyone's nipples showed that wore Puma. Remember that World Cup? Was that 2014? Maybe it was 2000. Anyway, whenever it was, maybe it was around the Copa America. I don't remember what year it is, but I've had it in my closet as like, the kit closet. And I squeezed myself into it for this podcast because I didn't want to repeat. A Uruguay, like a Celeste kit. But like I had to wear a Uruguay kit. Like, what is this madness? Bielsa has literally changed the whole identity of the Uruguayan selección. We're going to talk about it. But I had to just like rep. So I was like, let me see if I can get into this kit. And I did. And it's from the tight period. So I wouldn't wear it in public, but here we are squeezed into a tiny kit. Go watch on YouTube if you aren't to see what that looks like. But no, it's cute. It's like sleek. I don't know. I don't like white kits that much. The one I wear more often than not. Well, I have a real cool one I have to wear soon, actually. That's a surprise one. I got that one as a gift. It's white. But my other white kit that I wear a ton is the Argentina warm-up from the last World Cup. that has like kind of like the rainbow stripes. I love that one. But like white kits in general, just like I don't know. And like Uruguay always gets the most boring kits. They never get anything fun. This year they have a fun warm up with like a cool kind of design on the sleeves. I would rock that. I would rock that. But normally it's just like, okay, it's La Celeste, fine, whatever. So alternates tend to be white. There were a couple times they had red alternates, which was really interesting. Historically, this was, I mean, it's at least 20 years the last time they did it. But yeah, that's what we're wearing because hello, the eliminatorias, like, oh my God, I'm screaming. I listen, I know many Uruguayos that lost faith. Believe it or not, after like literally for me, when Bielsa came to Uruguay, it was like the ultimate gift. And I never lost faith in Bielsa. Many people did. Haters gonna hate, but like Argentina and then Brazil and then Argentina in a row. Come on, that is not a coincidence. That is not a coincidence. We're gonna talk about it. We'll get into it. We're gonna talk a little bit about Boca, the Libertadores final. Not good. And we'll talk. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes up. We'll talk about life. We'll try to piece together enough content for an episode amongst all the craziness that is going on, but it's all good. It is all good. It the universe has us. That's it. That's all that's what that'll be our thread, our tying thread for the day. The universe has us. So let's start with talking about Boca. So sadness, that Libertadores final. I watched that final in New York City. So I went to New York City to meet up with a former student of mine. Shouts to my baby Pauline, who has been incredible. Like she shows up to my stuff. We had plans to get brunch in Brooklyn, and that was the day of the Libertadores final, which was at 4. Was it at 4? Yeah, it was at 4. So I was like, okay, perfect. Brooklyn. I'll decide as the day goes on if after brunch I'm gonna go to Queens to the Boca Juniors Steakhouse, which is like Boca Juniors headquarters in this area. I mean, like it's an institution. It's an institution. I've been there. I have a really cool picture that I took many, many years ago of the Diego. Like it almost looks like an etched glass, but it isn't. It's a sticker of Diego. It's like his silhouette, and I have a really cool picture that's like my reflection with him in it. Like I love that. I love their food, like parrillada. Hello, it's delicious. Boca headquarters. That was one option. And my other option was the ground in NYC, in like Chinatownish. And they were just going to show it. Now, I've never been to the ground, and the ground is a really cool space. They have a couple of like 5-a-side courts, like fields, right? Like little like places to play. One's a rooftop. They have really cool murals. They have a Diego mural. I mean, like it's a cool spot, right? It's like it's just there. It's just like you just happen upon it, and you're like, what the heck? And they were like, they had posted they were going to show the game, and I couldn't quite picture what that would look like. And I was like, all right, these are the two options. So brunch finishes. I'm in Brooklyn. And I was like, it was like maybe 1 when I finished in Brooklyn. And I was like, okay. And I drove. So I was like, well, at this point, let me see if I can just get to Boca Juniors. There's still 3 hours to the game. I was like, even if there's a line, even if we have to wait, like whatever, like get there, like with traffic and everything, it took a while, whatever. Get there, find parking. The parking gods blessed me. I found the best parking spot. Walking up to it, it already looked insane. It was like hustle and bustle. It was a line out the door. There were like the banners, whatever. It was awesome. I was like, okay, cool. I'll wait online. There was a line like down the block. I was like, I'll wait online. No problem. I'm here for the game, right? So I'm standing online for a while before I realized, because I was by myself, like I didn't have I wasn't in a friend group. I was just by myself. So I was like hearing people talking on the line and like started chatting. And I was like, and it came to be that we thought we were waiting online to get in, but it was like an overflow line that was never going to move because the whole entire restaurant had been packed since 11. Like literally packed. Like they added an extension to it. If you've ever been there, they added an extension to it, like a makeshift, like plywood extension to it. And it was just not like whatever we, it could have been a situation where like obviously everyone in there was like eating and everything like that. It could have been a situation where the overflow people would at least get to celebrate if Boca won. Like that would have been the best hope. I don't even know where we would have watched it. So I then at that point it was like maybe close to 3. The game's at 4, and I was like, shit, I have to, if I want to make it to the ground, right? Like I'm gonna have to hustle because driving across the city, whatever, from Queens to Manhattan. So, but I was like, what am I gonna? I'm not gonna watch it here, and then if I leave, blah blah blah, whatever. So I took a risk, drove over to the ground, found a parking garage, a shady one, parked, walked over the place, and it was packed, but there was room. They set up in the one space where they play 5-a-side. They like tarped off all the windows, and then they had a projector, and in there like it was every man for himself. Like people like grab chairs from the because they have a bar in there too, grab chairs from here, from there, upstairs. I mean, it was madness, but I got there like at the perfect sweet spot time. I feel like this happened to multiple people, and I know at least a couple people it happened to because they were talking about it. They came from Boca Junior Steakhouse, which was impenetrable, and so they came there, or like other people's like they went somewhere else where they were like, it's not going to happen. And then so we got like a lot of overflow, I feel like, at the ground. It was packed. It was all Boca fans. I mean, like all Boca fans. It was like watching in like a penca. Like it was so great. Boca jerseys everywhere. But I got a seat and I sat my butt down, made some friends. And it was great. It was awesome. The atmosphere was so good. I got some content and I haven't done anything with it. Now that I think about it, I'm like, let's unpack that. Let's unpack that. If Boca had won, so let's go back to literally today from recording time. Today has been 11 months to the day that Argentina won the World Cup. Literally, it's been 11 months. First of all, I can't believe time has flown that much. We're almost at a year. When Argentina won the World Cup, I watched it, and then my whole family left the second it ended to Manhattan. Okay. So we drove to Manhattan, where it was madness, literally like just like Times Square. It was madness, full of Argentinians. I mean, it was crazy. I got so much content. One of my reels, which is it's pinned to my Instagram at Real Francamente, got like 6,000 likes or something like that. Like for me, that's the most engagement I've ever gotten. And it was just a reel of like walking up to the celebrations in Times Square, right? Which was awesome. I posted so much content from that experience. And then now I'm like, I took a bunch of videos and things from the Boca game, and I had this lived experience that I loved so much. It was so good, but I haven't posted anything like concrete. I haven't made a reel because we didn't win. Boca didn't win. The game was, we'll talk about it. But if they had won, I would have posted. But does Boca losing take away from the beautiful experience that I had pre-game and during the game, right? So there's something to be unpacked here about like what makes our experiences worth posting. And there's something to be unpacked about like the gaze that we shoot content for. Like, do we do content? Do we document for posterity, for memories, for like, preserving the experience? Or do we do it thinking about the gaze of who's going to watch it? And then we refrain from posting it if we lose. There's a lot to unpack here, because why did I not post? Even though they lost, it was an experience that was awesome. I mean, like the chance, it felt like you were literally at La Boca. I mean, it was, and people had mate. I mean, like people were drinking beers. You could like do whatever. It was like every man for himself. It was like a cool, like savage spot. It felt like South America, truly. Not only because we were surrounded by Argentinians and like Boca fans, but people from, I mean, there were other people, other Latinos too, that, or like even like United Stations that are just Boca fans. Like that's a crazy dynamic, right? Like that's a crazy phenomenon. And so I took a bunch of content, didn't post it. I'm going to think about this. Okay. So the game was bad. There was a moment where we really all had hope, because I really did have hope, that the football gods would come through. And I needed that win. I needed that win that week. I still could use a win like that. I got it. I got my win. It was Uruguay, but it didn't happen. And I mean, I'm really glad at least that it was to a respectable team that they lost to, because if it had been any some other country that wasn't Brazil, like a team from, like a not heavyweight country, I would have been so much more pissed. The truth is, Boca Juniors made it to that final by the skin of their teeth, playing very little, playing very little good football. And a lot of like penalty shootouts led them. It was almost like a technicality that they made it to the final. And so we were all excited, but like there was something where it was like, all right, there are these heavyweights, there are these champions, like they'll pull through, and they didn't. Marcelo, by the way, is a beast. I had to hate Marcelo. I had to hate Marcelo when he played for the team that shall not be named, right? But like, I love him so much. He's so cute. He's such a good guy. Like, you could tell he's such a good guy, even though he's like kind of like a savage on the field. Like, I just love him. I love him. I have to. And like, so I had to be happy for him a little bit. And especially since he went back to Brazil, like, there's no reason to hate him anymore. Like, he deserved it. There was like some really cool, moments, some really cool stuff where like it was deserved. And it just sucks because because you kind of do feel like, oh, I traveled, I did all this stuff, but like that's sports. Like that is sports. That's how sports aren't logical. That's how, although in this case, I think logic did win. But sadness. It was still cool. It was a cool atmosphere. Like I made some friends. It was fun. And, I got to experience the ground. So like now I know that exists, and it's literally called The Ground NYC. Check it out. And it's a cool space if they do other stuff like that, it would be cool to check it out there. So, but yeah, South American, it was the Copa Libertadores final. That's like and I am hesitant to, because I heard people around me being like, oh, this is the Champions League of South America. No, we are not going to do that. Okay. Because first of all, Libertadores predates it, predates Champions League, but also, how about Champions League is the Libertadores of Europe? Like, no, you never hear anyone say that, right? Like, it always has to be that the South American competition is like the European version. Like, no, it isn't. It's its own thing. And also, let's talk about, and there were so many United stations that kept making comments about like how savage they put. It's like, welcome to South America, baby. Like, there's like you cannot. Where are the knives? Like, literally, remember my episode there? I had an episode called literally, Where Are the Knives? That is why I'm like this. Like, because that's my people. Like, that is my people. It's just, when you're not used to watching South American football and then you watch the Libertadores final on top of everything else, like it's the Libertadores final. It wasn't just any old game. Some of the the fouls and stuff, people were like, whoa, but like, that's South America, baby. Love it or leave it. Where are the knives? I have my little Boca Juniors mate back there, if you're watching on YouTube, and it's always there. It's always part of the set. I think I have some other Boca Junior stuff maybe, but yeah, sad stuff. But what are you gonna do? You win some, you lose some, such as sports. And the universe has our back. The universe has us. And, there's always a reason. Everything happens for a reason. So, I mean, it is what it is. It could have been worse. But then I got my justice, my karmic justice fairly soon after, which was, well, let's go to break, and then we'll talk about eliminatorias, South American World Cup qualifiers.
make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. And help us out by leaving a rating and review, and remember to share it with a friend. Don't forget to follow Franca on Twitter and Instagram at Francamente for the latest news. And lastly, please visit realfrancamente.com for bonus content, including articles, photos, and for more information about the podcast.
Okay, we are back. We are back. We started with the bad news. Now we're going to go to the good news, which is that Uruguay, we are in World Cup qualifiers. Okay. Y'all, if you had seen and heard me, okay, that night, and now I'm like, was it last night? No, it wasn't last night. It was 2 nights ago. It was Thursday, right? It was Thursday. It was Wednesday. It was Thursday. You could not tell me nothing. You could not tell me. You couldn't talk to me. Okay. You couldn't talk to me. Do not talk to me. I am Arquewasha. Okay. I was unhinged. I was on another level of insufferable. You have never seen me like this. I was watching the game. I was unhinged. I was watching with a friend, and I was like, these are the two best, like most, like, passionate fan bases. And it was like, no, literally no one on earth, no one in the world, no one was fighting me. Like, there was not a reason for me to be aggressive. And I was like, these are the two most passionate fan bases in the world. Like, where are the knives? They were like, no one ever said why. I was unhinged because, okay, first of all, it's the Franca clásico. It was the Franca clásico. Like, it was the Rio Platense clásico. I was born in Argentina. I grew up in Uruguay. Like, I love both of my countries. Sometimes people are like, oh, but this when it's convenient. No, it's not when it's convenient. It's that when they play each other, I win no matter what. And I can't help that. That's my identity, right? Imagine being from, like, legitimately, like, I have documentation. Like, I have IDs and passports, okay? Like, these are my countries. Of the two best fucking footballing nations in the world. I mean, the current champion, and then, like, we've got Uruguay, which historically is what it is, with Bielsa. So, like, I was unhinged. I was like, so the current world champion, who has not lost a World Cup qualifier yet. The last time Argentina lost was against Saudi Arabia in the World Cup, right? And now here comes little Uruguay, who Argentinians love to just, like, treat like Argentinians are so full of themselves, like, truly, in a bad way, right? And Uruguayans are more humble. And so I just love when Uruguay beats Argentina because of that, because, like, Argentinians just, like, always going like, and even Messi got spicy, and Messi only gets spicy with worthy rivals. Okay, like, worthy rivals. The memes that came out, first of all, Bielsa, like how a godsend. Uruguay is a different national team than they've ever been. Definitely the last few years with Tavares, whom I love. I don't think Tavares should have been fired the way that he was. I was not a Tavares hater at all. But it is obvious now how much Bielsa has literally changed that whole federation. It's a different, some of my favorite tweets, I might pull up now. Someone said, it was hilarious. And some of these are going to be in Spanish, and, like, I'm sorry about it. You're just going to have to deal. Because then some of it is, like, specific, like, Uruguayan humor. So you just, like, can't even translate it. But, oh, by the way, I posted a thirst trap on all accounts. And it was from a couple years ago, or I guess more than a couple years ago now, maybe 2017, 2018, 2000. I don't remember. World Cup qualifiers. I was in Uruguay, literally in Uruguay. And I went to 3 World Cup qualifiers, and I caught some goals and stuff on video that was, like, insane. Okay, I posted that thirst trap of me on a rooftop, like, that butt popping. Okay, it was that peach. That made Uruguay win. Okay, and that was one of the things that was, like, going around. Like, my followers were like, no, it was absolutely this picture that made Uruguay win. Look that one up if you haven't. Okay. Um, I'm looking for. So one of the tweets said by Daniel Edwards says Bielsa's Uruguay are shaping up to be the toughest opponent Argentina have faced in the last 2 years. Yup, including France, is what he says. I agree. Um, just really incredible stuff. The memes were so good. So Uruguay won 2-0, 2-0. Okay. You could not tell me nothing. Uruguay just beat Brazil. That was historic. And now they come off of beating Brazil to beating Argentina for the first time. And I don't even know. It was like the statistics were, coming and coming. And like, I just don't even remember what the exact statistic was, but it was historical, the win of Uruguay. First of all, because of where Argentina sits currently, they were number one in World Cup they are number one in World Cup qualifiers, and they're literally the world champions. They've got Messi, okay? And Messi got spicy, and I was just eating it up. I was eating it all up because I couldn't, there was nothing was gonna piss me off. Like I was just eating it up. It was so good. I was tweeting like a fucking maniac. People were like, this is a Bielsa masterclass, like, but there's also the camaraderie between them. People were digging up like old tweets, like videos of Darwin. Darwin's a little like, he's just such a regular, humble dude. I'm looking for one specific tweet and I can't find it. That was really funny. It was really funny. Anyway, like the memes just kept on coming. The memes like wrote themselves. It was just an historic moment. It was an historic moment in the Bombonera, like literally Boca Junior's house. Okay, someone tweeted that it was 22 years ago that Uruguay had not beat Brazil and they had never beat Argentina in Argentina for World Cup qualifiers ever. So it was historic in that moment, in that way. And this was also the 5th time in 66 years that Argentina lost a home World Cup qualifier, like ever in life in general, right? So no Bielsa, no party. I mean, and he's just so great. There was footage when like there were some Newell's fans there, and when he arrived, he was like, like he just was with them. He's just so humble and regular and normal, and I just love my country so much, both of them, because Bielsa's Argentinian. Let's not forget, right? But he loves Uruguay so much. He's more Uruguayan in his personality, in that he's like really humble, right? People were like, oh, like for everyone that was like, like had like doubts about Bielsa or like they say stupid shit about him. Like they're like, oh, he looks down in conferences, like in like the pregame conferences or whatever. He like looks down too much. Literally, that's what they criticize him for. Like, bitch, if these are the results, let him do what the fuck he wants, right? Just so good. Just so good. I can't find that one tweet. That's okay. It was historic. I was unhinged. It was unparalleled. Like the joy that it brought me, and Argentina still first and Uruguay second. Brazil lost to Colombia too. So interesting stuff going on with the Brazil. There's a really fun meme going around because remember that time that I forget if it was their coach, a cat jumped up to the desk of where the conference, like the press conference was going on, and the guy like grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and threw the cat, and people were pissed. And it coincidentally, or maybe not, okay, since that happened, and I forget when that was, I think it was maybe around the World Cup. I think it was a World Cup press conference. Brazil has like gone to shit since, and like people are like all tweeting about it. I live for the memes. It's what I have to hold on to in these days where I'm like, the vibes are in shambles. I live for the memes. It was just so good. Like, it's so good to be Argehuasha. I am Argehuasha. I was like on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere. I was like, soy Argehuasha, vengan de a uno. Vengan de a uno. That has to be a clip. I love when I can just speak vicariously to my producer extraordinaire via these little things that I like notice. So I think the name of the episode is Franca Clásico, maybe the Franca Clásico. We'll see. We'll workshop it. But yeah, that was needed that win. And it was so good. And like now we're on top. Darwin, the hate that Darwin got for so long at Liverpool, and I don't know if that showed up for real. If you're watching on YouTube, I just got like a thumbs up bubble. It's the software. I don't know what the heck just happened. Anyway, we can cut that. I don't know. Blooper. I don't know. But really good stuff. Darwin, like, just shutting up haters. I mean, I hate Liverpool, but the fact that he is shutting up haters. Araujo too, like, he gets a lot of hate. And he also scored, and like, it's just such a young, gorgeous, like, fast team. It's like the most Uruguay's ever been in terms of like what Uruguay is usually known for, right? The game had everything. It had choking, it had lewd emotions, it had an insult, it had Messi getting spicy. I mean, it was just so good. It was recorded. I recorded it and I rewatched it. I've rewatched it like 3 times. Sometimes it really do be the World Cup qualifiers that like make for legendary historical games. So really such an exciting game. We'll see where it all goes right now. You know, Argentina's first, Uruguay second. I don't really care too much about World Cup qualifiers until it gets close to the end, like for now. So it's not one of these things. So when one of the funny things that Messi said after the game, because like Argentinians were acting like the world ended, right? Which I kind of love secretly. But like, it's one game in World Cup qualifiers, right? So when they were asking Messi afterwards, like, oh, a message of like hope for the fans or whatever, he literally was like, we lost one game. Like, and it wasn't even like, it's World Cup qualifiers. Like, chill. I agree with Messi on that. Like, chill, okay? But also, as Uruguayans, we're going to celebrate it, like, because it was huge. It was huge. So really exciting. I can't wait to see what, like, you know, what this all does, how this all goes for the rest of the World Cup qualifiers. And we've also got a lot of discourse around this with the Argentinian elections, the runoff election, which is happening Sunday. By the time this drops, it will have happened. Hopefully it goes the right way and we don't get, you know, the Trump guy, Milei, winning, but not that Massa is that great. But there's all sorts of discourse and memes around that too. So I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see what happens with those elections. We know that they're super connected to football and politics, always super connected. That's our whole thing here at Real Francamente. So we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, I mean, amazing stuff. Really cool. Like, I got really excited again to like watch this game, which I really, really needed. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see what our set looks like next time. I'm excited myself to see what it's gonna look like, because I do not know at this point what I'm doing for the next episode, but life's like that, isn't it? So on that note, we'll stop here and we'll catch you on the next one. And that was another episode of Real Francamente. Thank you so much for listening. I'm obsessed with y'all, literally. Please share with your like-minded friends. Follow us on socials at Real Francamente. Leave likes, comments. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And leave comments there. Leave ratings. Leave reviews, only if you love us. Check out our website for more content, www.realfrancamente.com. We will catch you on the next one. And as always, bias your football content.